Hello, Ron Briggs, Blackmore, Vale Honey, and welcome back to the channel. So, standalone video this time. It's just building a hive stand. So, in one of my 1 year in beekeeping, I built a single hive stand. I think it might have been in March, but you can go back and see that. Somebody's seen that and said they wanted a bit more detail of how to put it together. So, what I need to do for my new apiary is I need to build one of my double stands, although they're actually treble stands. So I thought I'd make a quick video. It won't be a long one, just to show you what I did, how much it cost me, and so on and so forth. So without further ado, let's get on with it. Okay, first off, in terms of cost, that's always a bit tricky for me because I have so many offcuts and things that I just get what I need extra to make what I did. But this time I've decided to actually cost it for you. So what you see there is what I've just bought. So that's two 6 foot fence posts, 3 inch by 3 inch, or 75 mil by 75 mil. Yeah, 6 foot, 180 centimeters. Two of those, and I've also got some 3x2. I've got a 3.6 meter length, which is the longer one, and a 2.4 meter length, and a box of screws from Screwfix. So that little lot has cost me £30. But I won't need all of it for this stand. For example, the screws, I ain't going to need all the screws just for this particular project, and I'm not going to need all of the 3 inch fence posts, and again I won't need all what's from the 3x2, but I'll show you exactly what I need, and then obviously the rest goes on to make other hive stands or whatever else you're making. So £30 for that lot, just shy, £29.98 for that little lot you see there. But I'm also using these pieces here, which you'll see are just supporting the bottom of the legs. They can be anything. It can be 4x1, 2x1, whatever you've got left lying around you can use. So I don't know, if you have to go and buy it, maybe another couple of quid, something like that, for what you need on the bottom. But that's literally just offcuts. So really we're talking a triple hive stand for less than 30 quid. So let's get on with it. So first thing I need to do is get all this lot cut up, and I like to do that all in one go. So my hives are all national. So the outside dimensions of a national hive are 46 centimeters by 46 centimeters, or 460 millimeters by 460 millimeters. Now that's not essential, because obviously my poly hives, I've got an outside diameter bigger than the nationals, but it doesn't matter, they all fit on. So if you do it to the size of a wooden national, 46 by 46, you're laughing. So the distance between the two runners is got to accommodate, for me, it's got to accommodate a frame, so that I can sit the frame, the first frame out, and hold it actually on the frame, which I'll show you. So and also, so I take into account the thickness of the runners, and for me that works out that I need about 37 centimeters, 370 mil, between sort of kind of there and there, but just with a bit of wiggle room. And actually, if I do that at 37, because of the width of that gives me a nice 460 millimeters all round, and I'll show you that. Right, height of my stands. Height of your stand, for me, ideally needs to be about knee height, because the whole point of the stand is it's off the ground and it stops you bending. So for me, knee height about 45 centimeters, that kind of works. I would rather have it a bit more awkward at the end of the season with the if you've got sort of maybe 4 supers on, so the top ones, the top ones are heavy and are difficult to get off. But I'd rather I use an upturned milk crate just to get those top ones off, because that's only for maybe a couple of weeks in the season, whereas for the whole rest of the season you want it at just the right height, and that's where your brood box sits just below waist height and your first super just above waist height. So for me that's about 45 centimeters, and that works really well because the 6 inch fence post is 180 centimeters, so that cuts down exactly into 45s. So they're going to be cut down into 45s, and then the first rail I'm going to cut, the long one, 3.6, that's just straight in half. So that gives me 6 foot, 180 centimeters, and then the last one from that measurement we've just done with that is going to be 5 times 37 centimeters. Oh, and the offcuts are also going to be 37 centimeters. I want 3 of those. So I'll get it cut up, laid out on the floor, and show you where we're at. So we are. So that's all the bits cut, and it's going to look something like that. So here we've got our 6 foot, 1.8 meters. So we'll cut those in half. These were all the 37 centimeters, 370 millimeters. 5 of those. Yeah, the fence posts were cut into 45 centimeters. Remember, we cut them in half and half again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, one on each end, one in the middle. And then these bits were just those little bits of offcut, which are also cut to 370. So the first thing we're going to do is, now we've got all that cut, oh, and that's the offcuts. So that fence post there is enough to do 2 more legs. So the next one of these I build, I only need to buy 1 fence post, because that'll be enough. And that's plenty big enough for, well, at least one of these. As I said, that's why I made a lot of mine with offcuts, so I wasn't really sure of the price. But that's it. So the first thing, the only place we need to measure now is these 2, and it's identical on each. So what we'll do, we'll put those side by side, we'll measure them up, and you'll see where we go next. Okay, so now we've cut all the pieces up to the right size. Now we've got to do some measuring to how we're going to join it together. So you saw that we kind of join it together a little bit like a ladder. So measurement then, let's get in there. So I like to leave 2 inches, 50 mil off the side to hang a frame, which you'll see when I've finished. So if that's 2 inches off the side, and then that's going to be the first cross piece that I put on. So all that is there, look, is the width of that, right? So from the outside edge of that to the outside edge of the next one needs to be 460 millimeters, 46 centimeters. So from the outside line to the outside line, 460, and then we just put that in there and draw that off. So that gives me then my 2 that I need, because my hive's going to sit on there. And then all I do is repeat that on the other end. So you can see we've done that. And then we just need 1 in the middle. Now the middle one is slightly different. So what we do, well, what I do, bear in mind this is your hive stand. You design it anyhow you want. This is just the way I do it. It's cheap and it's simple. So all I do then is, because I'm going to put some legs in the middle of this one, so I've measured the middle. That then sits in the middle, which is going to sit there, and then I need to put 1 more of these on. But it doesn't matter which side I go, because it's not going to be central, not unless you do some fancy cuts, or maybe put 2 in, but there's no need to. So I'm just going to go on that side. So all I've done is put that in the middle, measured that where it goes. That gives me that line, then put that on, gives me the other line, and that's it. So that's all my measurements done, and you can see that I've then all I do is I put 2 crosses in, because that's where I'm going to drill my holes. So let's get on and do that then. So what I've done now is I've drilled and part screwed every single hole, because I know where, because I've built these often enough that I know where everyone's going to be. So I like to do it this way first, and so all the cutting's done first, then all the drilling, then put the screws in, then all I've got to do is assemble it. So you can see here, these are the these ones are the 4 screws for the cross members, and then these ones are in here. They are what connect the leg to each side. So that will be cross member and then a leg on each side there, cross piece there, cross piece and a leg there, cross piece there, cross piece and a leg there, and then on these pieces, so 3 of these cross members have, this is where the legs go on them. So there's 2 in each there and 2 in each side for the legs, and these are these offcuts that go on the bottom of each one, so they've got 2 in each one to connect to the leg as well. But these ones are smaller screws, didn't need to be anywhere near so big because that's quite thin. So the screws that I've used for the main part are silver screws, 5x9s, only because they're the cheapest. I've got Hive stands now that have been up 8-9 years and they're still good. So even though they're not exterior screws, they're absolutely fine for what they do. So you get 100 in the box. I've used 44 of them, so you'll get 2 Hive stands, or you know, certainly more than one, depending if you're making a single or a double. But for the double, I'm going to get 44 screws. I'm going to get 2 lots out of a 1 box of screws. So that's that. So now that's all drilled and screwed, the last thing to do is put it together. So I need to take that into the garage because I need a flat surface on the floor, and then I'll show you that. So didn't get a chance to finish this yesterday, so we're just going to finish it off this morning. We've brought it into the workshop now because I was going to do it on the garage floor, but now I've got the workshop tidied up a bit. I thought I'd do it on the side. So what we've got to do now, first of all, is connect the 5 shorter pieces with the longer piece. And we do all one side to start with. Let me show you. So there's one of the rails, and you notice we've got the screws on this side, and then on the other side is where we've got it marked. Can you remember where we've got it marked, where the cross members go? All right, so the first one I'm going to secure is this one. Now, because that's going to go on there like that, so that's going to go on there. Now can you see these, because 3 of these, do you remember I put screws into? But now when I put the leg in there, I can screw the leg up that way and the leg up that way. So that's why that one goes on there. The middle one does the same. Yep, so I can screw the leg in there, and then the other one was obviously for that end. So let's get those screwed up. Okay, so that's that side done. That's really simple, and because those screws are in there, you're not having to hold screws and put screws in at the same time. Much easier to put screws down when you're screwing in rather than trying to start off by going in from the side. So that's cool. So again, the other rail to put on, again, where it's marked, is where we're going to line it up and screw it in. So let's get that done. There we go, there's the top done. So we can just put that to one side for the moment. So next thing we're going to do is turn our attention to the legs. And what I've done, I've measured 4 inches, 100 mil, up from the bottom of just the 2 end ones. I've made sure they're all square just by putting a bit of timber on like that. And then using my square, or just mark it and join them all up with a ruler, I can just mark them. So we've got the 4-inch height the same, because what we're going to do, that's where we're going to screw our scrap pieces on the bottom to. So let's get on and do that. So all I'm going to do now is in pairs. Remember those scrap bits we had? These are just to support the bottom. Now, you don't actually have to have these on, but I just like to put a piece of scrap on there just to stop the legs splaying, just holds it all together. But like I said, it doesn't need to be really long screws, just enough to hold it. And then all we have to do, that line we've just put on, line it up there. Because we've cut this square, we can line that up with the outside, line that up square, same on the other side, and do that for all 3. So now we've got 3 pairs of legs looking like that. So now what we've got to do is attach the legs to the framework. So let's get on and do it. So now what we've got to do is just put now we've done those with the legs, is just turn our frame upside down, drop that in there, and all we've got to do, because we've already got the screws in, is just screw those together. So that's that one done. All we've got to do is the other 2 sets of legs. Let's do it. So there we have it. 3 lots of legs on. Okay, so let's get this outside flipped up the right way, and I'll show you what it looks like. So there we go, there we have it, a simple little hive stand. As I say, it's probably over-engineered. You can make it with a lot less timber, a lot thinner timber if you need to. You only need to look at the hive stands that you purchase, and they're much flimsier. I've had a look on Thorns. You'd pay £25 for a flat pack single, but I know that this is extremely robust. I've had them knocking around for years. They don't blow over. Even those 2 hives that blew over this year, it was the hives that loosened the cam buckle and blew off the hive stand. The hive stand didn't move. So I say a double is going to cost you £117, and you used to be able to get a triple off eBay, but I couldn't find them to give you a price. But let me show what they look like with a hive on. So there we have it. It gives you some idea of size now. So those 2-inch pieces we left over at each end are so you can fit a frame on it, so you don't have to worry about a frame hanger. They'll sit on there, but also when we're doing, they'll also sit anywhere in the stand as well, which is quite cool. As you can see, it will quite easily take 3 if you wanted to, but I never ever keep 3 on it. The whole purpose of it, me having these, is all about my back and lifting, because exactly that. So I've got a full hive here. I can obviously not banging around, gently move the boxes over here whilst I'm inspecting, then put those back together, and then I've got the space to do this one in the middle when I need to. Very occasionally I might have had a nuke or something in the middle if I'm doing a manipulation, but yeah, so this is my hive stands just for 2 hives. So there we are then. So that completes that video. Thanks for watching. Hope you got something from it, and we'll see you on the next one.